Kia ora, everyone. Welcome to another smoking room. I'm Horsefry. I'm joined here by...
Me, Lurf. Hello.
And I'm Pokey.
And today we're talking about something a listener suggested we have a look at, which is a manga written by Ryukishi called, and I kid you not, Haram Royale. It's like Haram Royale when the stories end or something. I actually forgot, but yeah, it's it's a manga series, and it's about a bunch of girls at school who get stuck in with a demon forcing them to act out a harem manga. It's very interesting, and yeah, I don't really have a format for this. If anyone has something in particular they want to talk about, go ahead. But
I guess we might as well mention what this came about. So this commenter, I believe it's Matthias Schroeder, has commented 2 times on 2 separate occasions about Harem Royale because we talked about Ryukishi's weird lolicon stuff that goes on in his works and how it always brings down the mood of what could otherwise be a great work of fiction.
Yeah.
And so this came about of that question of like, what if Ryukishi just went all out? What if Ryukishi just went buck wild?
Yeah, he sure did.
He sure did.
Yeah, it's the two very insightful comments, or 3. I think I've captured them all. But I think yeah, it's they're correct about like it's cope to say like Ryukishi just like doesn't know or like is just doing it for like commercial value. I think Ryukishi is like really into this like lolicon stuff, which is unfortunate because I'd rather he wrote about all the other cool stuff he's interested in. But you know, I guess at the end of the day, he can write whatever he wants. And
yeah.
Yeah,
it's his brain.
It's his brain. I'm one of those firm believers of if it's not hurting anyone and it's not hurting yourself, then I don't fucking care. I'm a grown adult. True. I don't have time to care about this. I have a job. I have a life. you know?
Yeah.
It's it is really telling though that like the way this whole work is. It's yet another example of, I think, Ryukishi having a great idea and then undercutting himself.
Yeah.
If you think about the premise on paper, it's like a plot straight out of a hentai. A demon comes around and is like, hey, dude, Asunaro, I'm going to give you like a harem situation and all these girls are going to go in crazy, wild, erotic situations with you. Whoa! And then hilarities ensue. And in this case, like it's taken to the extreme where we take this concept of a harem competition and take it to a death game level where these women are battling for their lives.
Yeah.
And it really, I was really surprised by how horrific some of the violence is.
Yeah. I was a little dubious on the present, on the premise at first, and as I went through the beginning bit of it, I'm like, I don't know about this, but like I kind of see the potential. And then like near the middle and then like around the climax, I was like, you know what? We're kind of popping off. I'm kind of invested. And then the ending hit, and I was like, you fumbled the bag. You fumbled it.
Yeah. I feel like I read about halfway through, and I was like, oh, this is not good, and it's not going to get better. It's like what, 17 chapters long or something?
16
chapters.
Yeah.
Like, 16 chapters.
I think I would say 17 or 18 because there's a chapter 0.
Oh yeah.
Oh, true. I think there's some chapter halves too. I hate when they do that. But there's like 16.5 or something. But yeah, one of my first comments, which like was in hindsight very what's the word? It had good foresight. Was I was like, I'm a bit worried about the fact that it's like 17 chapters long. That doesn't seem like enough for Ryukishi to actually do any subversion. And I think that ended up being true. It feels to me at the end of the day, it feels like, you know, like a porno plot where it's like the cable guy shows up and like he's like, I'm here to fix the cable, and you're like, if you're really interested in people fixing cable, you're not going to have a good time because it's not about fixing cable.
No.
Well, I feel like maybe we should like give a brief overview of like the plot in its entirety, because I doubt that most people have read or Harem Royale. So
Yeah.
giving some context to the specifics we're talking about would be a good idea.
Okay, but here's the problem. I don't have the character names memorized.
I literally only remember Sarika, Ren, and Asano and Zephyr.
You remember 100% more than I do.
Totally not Zephyr and Furfur in a Zephyr and Furfur in a trench coat.
Yeah. I think honestly the other characters are all just kind of there to fill out the harem for me. Like you were saying, Horse Fry, 17 chapters is not enough to flesh out these characters. And the thing is, like, they have some interesting like stories and motivations. Like I would be like really interested to dig into Ren's home life more, you know, like the super rich girl, or you know, like the girl drawing manga to save her family. Like that's like a fun motivation. Then the girl who lost her sister and is like doing, I believe it's like track and field in order to like kind of live up to her sister's memory.
Right,
then,
Heather.
Yeah, Heather. And then last one is well, not the last one, but the other one that I forget the name of. I think she's the most forgettable to me.
She's the swords, the swords dojo.
Yeah.
One.
Right. The woman who's going to inherit this dojo and the technique of her father, because she's the sole heiress.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. I like in that story that like the dad is at least like pretty cool. Like his whole thing is like, he's like, yeah, you've got this. Like you'll
Good
be fine.
Dad.
Like yeah, like, and it's just her being like, I'm gonna make sure like, you know, nobody goes like, gosh, what an idiot thought that a woman could hold a sword. Like that's it. It's not like a wholesome.
And so like she's like, all these people are carrying other like people on their back, so it feels like they aren't just, you can really boil them down to their tropes, but I feel like most of them you get a lot of, not a ton of backstory in terms of quality or quantity, but implied backstory from like okay, Liru is the younger lady who is really into the manga. And so she wants to become a professional manga artist, or rather, I was surprised she already is a professional manga artist trying to support her family. And then Heather's trying to prove to the world that like she and her sister were the fastest around, her late sister, carrying on her legacy of being a track runner. And Serika has her whole family background of a very tumultuous life that we don't really get into until the later chapters. Ren has basically nothing. She's a cool character, but she's the only one that flat. I could be like, the only depth to her is that she might be really into Sarika.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I really like the implied like attraction she has to Sarika after like Sarika bests her, and like gets her to join another plan to cheat the harem game and stay alive so none of them have to die. And like later on, like, you know, she fucking kidnaps every other girl when Sarika makes a sacrifice to ensure that she can get hearts to win. And she's like, I'm not gonna let anyone kill you, Sarika. And I'm like, oh my god, wait, are you guys about to kiss right now?
Yeah. So like the overall structure of Harem Royale is that each, like, these girls that you think there's 4, but then you learn there's a 5th one. They're like given these missions in this super special hentai app. They each have
demon.
Yeah, created by the demon
Well, let's
Zephyr.
really quick say why Zephyr has done this. So essentially, our main guy,
Asunaro?
Asunaro.
I can
Yeah,
only
Asunaro.
remember it because it's the same name as an organization in It's Your Turn to Die.
Well,
Right.
Asunaro basically is a friendless fucking loser nobody, but he copes with it because he likes to fantasize and daydream about harems in his head. And he's not really hurting
Yeah.
anyone with that. He's just like Delulu, and he's fine with it. Whatever, do whatever you want, buddy. But one day he stumbles upon a bottle in the road. He goes home and opens it. Turns out there was a demon, Zephyr, trapped in there. And she's like, well, shit, I gotta repay you and show you my gratitude for freeing me. I'm gonna make your harem real. And he's like, what the fuck? And then the harem becomes real, and in being real, she basically takes these girls and is like, hey, by the way, you are going to try to get this man to love you, and you're gonna join his harem, and if you don't, or you lose, then you're gonna be tormented for eternity in hell, and be killed over and over again for eternity.
Yeah.
So that's
yeah.
like
And we
the
see a
main
bit of
premise
that.
motivation. Yeah, we do get to
Yeah.
see like the deaths are extraordinarily brutal.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, okay, do we want to talk a little bit more about Zephyr's motivation? Because, yeah, like she says, like, yeah, I'm doing this to pay you back. But I think also it's like practically stated later on that in addition to that, she also just really hopes that it'll all go sour and everyone will just kill each other. Like the thing she says to them is like, oh, you know, this is a harem game and you have to win the love interest heart and everyone else goes to hell. Sorry. But like it's implied, and Serica kind of figures that out because she's the smart character. That like you could just kill all of the other competitor love interests and then you would win because there'd be no one to compete against you.
Right.
Which like it would not be a like especially fun experience for Asunaro. I don't think it would just be like I mean, this demon's like, hey, I'll make your harem real, and then that you hear of like a multiple homicide and like one of your classmates gets locked up for like consecutive life sentences, and Zephyr's like, hey, did you enjoy that?
Yeah, I mean,
don't know.
to be fair, one of the rules is if you do something to make Asunaro hate you, then you immediately get sent into the hell dimension.
And hell is terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, if Asunaro finds out and then hates you, you go to hell dimension.
I guess so.
And it's not like you can kill all of them at once at the same time.
Yeah, I suppose the actual plan was to like secretly kill them and then try and get away with the murder, and then it's just like, yeah, and then it's just only
so
one
basically,
love interest and the others are like at the bottom of the river.
Yandere Simulator.
Yeah, it's basically Yandere Simulator, except only one of the girls was like genuinely interested in him at the start, which is Ren, the rich girl. Which is like,
really?
yeah, all right.
I didn't read that at all.
No, I didn't read that at all.
She literally says it. She says it. Like,
does she?
Yeah, she literally says, yeah, actually, I've been kind of interested in him and I would like to go on a genuine date with him, like, not too long after they first, like, meet her and get her involved in the group.
I don't think he actually they really like knew each other though before the game.
No,
I think
but,
she's
like,
talking
she,
about
like,
the game just started and then she's like, oh, I kind of like him.
Yeah, but like she was the only one who had a genuine interest in actually wanting to go out with him and be with him.
I guess so.
My memory of this, I might have read this a while ago, but my memory was that she found out that he's like super lucky, and like the demon like just says it like, oh yeah, he's super lucky. Anyone that marries him will be like insanely wealthy and successful and stuff.
That is true.
And then she said that like one chapter afterwards, like, yeah, I'm really interested in actually going on a date with him.
It's yet another example of Ryukishi just being really really epic with the magic systems because he's just explaining all this in a super weird way. Like Asunaro has been just so middle of the road in terms of everything his whole life, and it's because he's destined for like enormous wealth and good fortune in his future. It's I feel like yeah, if this had more space to explore the concept, there's a lot of potential here. Unfortunately, I think the game itself was a little bit it got stale pretty quickly. The idea of gaining and losing hearts, it felt like they have the same solution to every single, like they're trying to outsmart this harem game so they don't have to go to hell and they don't have to like kill each other. And so the solution always winds up being, okay, let's just have one person lose and then that person will win next time.
Or
vice versa.
You know, like, oh, the person who wins then like says something to Asunado to like upset him so they lose some hearts and it gets like transferred back to the rest of us.
That was like 3 times. I swear.
Yeah, and like to be fair, that's really the only way they can game the system. I don't think the game was elaborate enough to make for fun scenarios like that, you know?
No, like, I think it's an extraordinarily badly designed game, and like if the goal is to like get them to be a harem, like the only way that happens is if Serica tries to subvert the rules.
But like also the thing is, it's not even like the goal of the game isn't to get them to be a harem. They are just playing the harem thing until Asunaro picks one of them, and then everyone else goes to hell, and he gets a happy ending with whoever.
Yeah, so I guess it's the difference between Zephyr's motivation, which is despair and terror and pain. And the motivation she proposes to Asunaro, which is that he gets super happy, awesome harem. Like you've always dreamed about.
She does tell him like you do need to like fucking pick someone though. Like that is part of the stipulation. Like you're gonna get your dream harem and then you'll be able to pick one of these lovely ladies to like be your partner forever and get married and whatnot. And he like multiple times throughout the manga is kind of like, I don't know, okay, like we just like hang like this. Like I'm really happy like this. And she's like, no, you gotta pick someone.
Yeah.
So like his personal motivations are I want to keep this harem going because I like stagnancy and I like things just, you know, existing as they are, and I get to live in my Delulu world where girls are fawning over me. And let it be known, Asunado doesn't know that these girls are in a death game. He just thinks suddenly all these girls are interested in him due to Zephyr. But he doesn't know, like, they're actually, like, fighting for their lives and, like, they hate it here and they don't want to do this.
Yeah.
So you have to cut him, like, a little bit of slack because he just, like, genuinely doesn't know what's going on.
It's still fucked up that he doesn't even think to ask.
It's still...
It's still a character flaw, I think. It's like, his passiveness is... Because Ryukishi is not making a statement about, like, young boys with hormones like having erotic fantasies. He's making a statement on like the passivity of this dude and how the fact that he's not going out and actually meeting people and just dwelling in his delusions. And then once he actually has his harem, not because of any effort he actually put in, once he actually has his harem, he would just rather things go on forever without ever having to make any decisions or have any potential consequences.
Yeah, I feel like the message that Harem Royale gave to me wasn't like a commentary on like erotic fantasies and like, you know, like how these images may cause harm or whatever like this. But the moral of the story is more like, hey, go touch grass. Like go outside, make some real friends.
I mean, I have a very low opinion of the main character. I guess he's not the main character. I guess Serica's the main character.
Yeah, Serica's.
But the male lead, he's sub George tier for me. Like he's so
at least George is interesting, right?
That's true.
Asunaro is a blank slate, you know, because he's a harem protagonist. Because at the end of the day, like this is still a harem manga, even if it does want to like parody it and play with the format of it. And I think the main problem with Harem Royale is that it doesn't actually really feel like it has a message that like it wants to convey. Rather, it feels like I had a cool idea. Like, what if a harem manga, but all the girls were forced to do it because they were trapped in a death game? Let's make that a story. Like, it doesn't feel like there's a lot you could do with that concept, and I do think it is like a fun idea, but you really need to like have something of substance to attach to it, and I don't think Harem Royale really like explored any of its ideas in depth enough to like actually have that substance in it.
Yeah, I think, and this might be going against what our commenter said, but I feel like this was a harem manga that was going to be written anyway for like it was just, there was just a space in the schedule, I suppose, for whatever publication this was, where it was like, oh, we can fill this niche. And they were like, oh, Ryukishi, do you want to write one? And he was like, yeah, I could probably write something interesting about the concept of a harem manga while still like, going through the steps of what a harem manga is about, and kind of do it in my own style. And so like, I feel like there's probably no way that he would, unless he got bored like immediately and just wanted to end it. I feel like Ryukishi is not the kind of person to write 17 chapters and then go, yep, that's the end. Hope you all had a fun time.
Something I've noticed about Ryukishi is every time that he like is moved into a different format or is made to write something like shorter or a one-off, it usually fumbles. Like, Ryukishi needs like these like absurdly long pieces of media to like get all his thoughts down. I feel like I just like I can't think of a Ryukishi work that was like short and also really good. That wasn't like maybe connected to something else, because some Umineko side stories are pretty good, but also some of them are really bad.
Yeah. Well, because let's be honest, the idea of a harem manga is not Ryukishi's normal level of like writing, right?
No.
So like, if you imagine like it has to be a harem manga, and so then that means that the editor has a list of things that have to happen in it, and so like you go and it has to be 17 chapters because again, editors have like, I don't know, their own plans for the magazine, and maybe there was a new thing coming in, so it had to like fill a specific gap. And then you imagine, okay, there's the gap is 17 chapters, and then it has to have all the stuff in it, and here's the gaps, Ryukishi, for you to fill in the bits that make the story yours. Like that kind of feels like the kind of practical limitations that he might have had to deal with. I might be wrong. Maybe he was just like I said, maybe he had free reign, but he just got bored and he was like, no, I think I've written all I care to write about this. Let's just wrap it up or something. But
I think it's more likely that like he was commissioned to write 4 volumes of a manga, and then he did it, right? Like,
which doesn't give him much like room to actually like write anything, right?
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is Harem Royale would be so much better if there was just more of it.
Unironically, I believe this.
Yeah.
I do think the biggest problem with it is he wasn't given, or he didn't give himself, or however it happened, it just wasn't enough like a canvas to like finish his painting. So he was gonna draw like Michelangelo's David, but he only had enough room for the penis and nothing else.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah.
For like the tone of Harem Royale, it's I mentioned earlier like the idea of Ryukishi undercutting himself. He does it all the time in Higurashi, once or twice in Umineko, and like he'll have like these profound characters, and then they'll make a joke sexualizing the children, and then we don't know what to do with that, Ryukishi. Where in this work, it was very funny because Horsefly, you started reading before me, and you said there was a lot of fan service, and then when I got into it, then there was just a full-on scene of Serika being naked, and I was like, Horsefly, this is just called nudity. But
This is just edgy, straight up.
Yeah, but going further into, because like it's almost like a U shape, the letter U, where at the top left you just have normal works that are not porn, and then at the top right you have just porn. You know, it's just fantasy. It doesn't. It is what it is. There's nothing. There's nothing especially wrong with it, unless it's exploitative. But like then he's sort of taking a dip on the U, where he's trying to be a normal work that commentates a little bit on the nature of harem, while also like I'm trying to think of a good example. I think the best. Okay, talking about a specific scene. This is that time when Ren kidnapped everyone so Serika would not be at risk of dying. And then Serika goes out to the park and sits on the swings next to Asunaro, and they have a cute moment because like she just lost a heart so that everyone else wouldn't be in danger. And so like she has a mission from Zephyr to go and have this romantic moment. And then we get to the end of this cute scene where they're sort of relating to each other and just being normal, cool characters. Asunaro is just sort of like a nothing character, but you know, he's there. He seems very nice. And then it's just all undercut when you find out that the mission at the end is to just expose herself for Asunaro.
Yeah, like let the wind like flip up your skirt so like he can see a flash of your panties, and then you can like have fun with it and slap him and say pervert to like make the harem fantasy a thing. And like obviously like it's you know, straight up fan service moment, you know how it is, but like I do think there is something interesting about like exploring a character who is forced into these fan service situations, and I would really like to dig in more on like how they feel about it. Like, you know, like there's this like there's like one little panel like gag where she's like, oh, like my like, you know, like something about shame, but like just like, you know, like just kind of lowering yourself so much, and you could explore some interesting ideas with this. It never takes it that far to get like introspective about like how like deep the horrors of the situation are. Like the only horror they really think about is, oh, we're gonna fucking die and go to hell if this happens, which to be fair is the biggest horror that is like the biggest threat there is. But I think like a situation like that would really take a toll on your psyche.
The existential terror of being made to suffer for the male gaze.
There's an anime I know that handles that really well. Anyway,
that is actually that's never it's missing a bit where they go, so what, we're just gonna do this because that's Serika's plan, right? Is they're just gonna trade hearts forever. Like they're all gonna survive because they're gonna trade hearts forever, and like they're missing a bit where someone goes, wait, so we're gonna do this forever? Like, you know, it's either eternal hell getting like smashed to bits by a mashy spike plate, or like spend the rest of our lives in this kind of hell. I mean, no one ever says that, and like it. I feel like that would be the kind of commentary that might elevate it.
Yeah, the only time that they really touch upon this idea and like the girls really like have a big reaction to what they're supposed to do is the last game that Zephyr gives them, which is the fuck or die game. Like, get impregnated by him or you lose.
Yeah.
So and that mean, like really throws them all for a loop. Like they're like so upset about it and like having like a whole fucking crisis about it. And I think oddly enough that like whole reaction to that was probably my favorite part of the manga, and like how they were like desperate to get out of it and they couldn't find a way. They're like, Sariko, like please like try to think of something. And like all of them like going home and being like, no, I can't die. I have like so much I want to live for. And their mood at school dipping, and like even like Asunaro noticing like what is wrong with them, like did something happen, this seems so serious. Like I just that bit was interesting to me.
I really like I sent a page because like 3 hours ago I still hadn't finished the last couple of chapters. I sent a page that I really liked of Serika really panicking, trying to figure out how the fuck are we gonna get out of this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yet again, it's still like a matter of how do we get out of dying. It doesn't feel like they're quite grappling with the fact that
Yeah.
they're like they're losing their command over their own bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, there was that one line from Zephyr where it was like, "Oh, like a maiden's purity is worth more than their life." Which
I don't really buy into that, but
I don't buy into that at all. But like, you know,
Mm.
like the taunting of like, "Oh, you aren't doing this, so this is what you think," and then you know, like they turn it around on her. But again, you are right. Where like it is interesting. Their main focus is, I'm going to die.
Yeah, it
If I
feels
don't
like-
do this, how do I not die? Rather than like, and also like the whole reason they're also upset is because they all wanted to make it out of this together, and they didn't want anyone else to die. So it's like one of those things like, if I don't do this, I'll die. If I and all of us will die, but if I do this, I'll lose everyone. And I feel like that is more the focus of it. Other like, instead of, oh shit, I have to get pregnant
Yeah.
if I want to live.
Yeah.
Like if they had like focused a little bit on like even the conflict of that. I know like dying is definitely way worse, but again,
yeah, I feel like the
That's
split was
rough.
95% dying, 5% being impregnated, when it should have been closer to like a 70-30.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I really wish we just like got into their thoughts about how they felt about that particular aspect. Like, yes, I will live if I do this, but also at what cost? And that's part of the reason I don't really like Asunaro's luck thing too much. Because I feel like, oh, at what cost? I'm gonna get super lucky and get everything I ever wanted, because Asunaro is crazy lucky and good fortune shines upon us when we are in his favor.
It's fair enough. I feel like it's also a matter of like not having enough time to fully get into these characters, where I could kind of buy that these 5 girls formed a friendship over all of this. But it always
I
felt
can see their trauma
transactional.
bonding.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
are trauma bonding. It always felt
Yeah.
like, though, that like they all just looked to Serica to solve their problems, and that was the extent of their relationship. That
Yeah,
like
no one else
Yeah.
actively tried to solve problems outside of Ren and Serica, and really all Ren did was kidnap a bunch of girls so they wouldn't get in the way of Serica saving their asses.
Yeah, they should have had more
Yeah.
focus on the kidnapping. Like maybe we like the whole like wind picking up skirt thing could happen off screen, and we just focus on Ren and the girls like actually bonding and not having to worry about this harem stuff.
Yeah. And again, it's just like a tragedy of this manga needed more time to actually be good, because it feels like this is stupid to say, but it feels like Gosatsu to me. But the Gosatsu didn't have a time problem; it had like an issue of focus. But it's like there is so much potential wrapped up in this thing, and I could see how it could be really, really good, but it just doesn't hit.
Yeah. It's hard to pick out what's like signal and what's noise. With such a small, like it's possible that with more time he could have had a lot more signal and a lot less noise, like proportionally, and it would have come out a lot better. It's also possible that more runtime would have just meant more noise. Like
Yeah, the thing is, I think you would need to fundamentally change the way the game is structured if you wanted it to run longer, because there's only so long the whole like heart passing around thing can be interesting if they're doing it the same way every time.
Yeah. With the game, I don't think any thought at all was put into the game, either in
No.
universe or out of it. It
It's just
doesn't
an
make any
excuse.
sense. It's like the fact that it took them until like the end for them to realize, oh, like, you know, the demon can just end this whenever she wants
Well, she
by
could.
by just saying whoever wins the next one wins the whole thing. Like she can just change the rules.
Oh
right?
yeah, she can just
Yeah.
change
And-
the rules.
It was only her
Which-
cruelty that was keeping them alive, like, and wanting to see them struggle.
Yeah, but then they weren't doing the struggling thing, so she changed it up.
And let's say you took this like kind of idea and you made a reality TV show out of it, right? So like you take away the whole like if you fail you're killed and you like, you know, go to hell forever.
It's just
If it was
The
just like a
Bachelor.
reality TV show and everyone's trying to win, I think this reality TV show would last like 2 episodes, because someone would just do really well and then they would do really well again and then they would win and it would be over. Like it's a terrible idea for like a game, And like it's there as a plot point, so that like that plot point plus Serica not wanting it to end makes it not end, which is the whole reason we get 17 chapters instead of like 2. So I agree that they'd have to completely change how that worked, which I don't think would be too hard. I think it just
I don't really know what it would be otherwise. Like, you'd have to like rebuild the game from the ground up. I feel like maybe like if we want to like fit in with like the demon's cruelty, make it not only like a thing to win Asunaru's heart and like have them interact with him, but also have challenges like outside of him, because like, oh, like maybe the game is taking too long, or like I want to like start like eliminating members, but it's not working if like we're doing this, so like do this risky thing, you know, or whatever, like just do stuff like I don't know, like risk your livelihood, like, oh, in order to please Asunaru you have to go like steal this thing that he really wants, you know, like something that could like change the stakes around a little bit, so they could like come up with more clever ways of like, okay, not only am I fighting against death, not only am I fighting to stay in Asunaru's good graces, but I also have to figure out a way to do like to not ruin my life in the process also.
Yeah.
Like
Ocean's
there are
5,
consequences to surviving, and I need to make sure that I face as little of those consequences as
It's very. I'm trying to remember how I assumed the game would work upon first hearing the rules, because the translations were a little bit sketchy. We'll talk about that later, I think. But
I assumed, at least when I read the premise, I assumed it would be like a bit more traditional of a death game, like you are trapped in this location and it is dangerous, and the only way out is to win this guy's heart.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it was going to be one of those more like brutal stories, but it ended up being a lot different than my initial imagination.
I think my assumption was that like when we heard that there was like a heart goal, it'd be like the hearts, you don't steal the hearts, you get hearts for winning challenges, and then like the idea is to,
and you need like 20 hearts to win.
Yeah, something like that. And so the idea is like to try and balance out the hearts that way. But instead it became a game where like hearts are a limited resource.
Yeah.
And that confused me a little bit.
Like, yeah, I feel like it could have been explained better, because I think the hearts being a limited resource makes it a little more interesting, or at least being able to lose hearts, because like then you can kind of like jump up and down. So I like that it was something that was passed between them. I just wish that wasn't their solution to every single problem, and that there were more creative ways of doing that, at least.
Yeah, and as
they did it the same way every time.
As a game, like if people were actually in it to win it, and they cared about winning, in this case, like it's been forced onto them. Obviously, they don't really want to, but they, in an actual game, if the players were out to win it, it'd be over in 2 rounds, as you said, because like the first round, the winner steals a heart from every single other person who didn't win. And then well, I guess that's technically the second round, but and then the third round, all you'd have to do is do it again. Yeah,
like that game could have been over so quick. And also, it wouldn't align with what Asunaru wants. And obviously, Zephyr doesn't actually care about what Asunaru wants, but like, to have such a quick ending to the game, I feel like for a demon, for Zephyr, the goal should be to torture these people and bring them into despair so that she gets that negative energy and fuels her power more. So actually dragging it out longer and making it more grueling for them would be the way to go. Like, right? Like, I guess Eternal Hell Murder would, like, amp up her power regardless, but I feel like Eternal Hell Murder is boring, right? Like, oh, they just die over and over again, like, whatever, like, you'll get bored after, like, the 100th death, right? So I feel like it could have been more interesting to, like, torment these girls and then have the girls kind of band together to try to, like, lessen their suffering and, like, grow a bond and try to figure out a way out of, like, this hellscape. Like, I feel like hell should have been the game itself, not the punishment for the game.
if you wanted to rework the game, I think all you have to do is just get rid of the hearts. The hearts aren't a thing. They don't actually represent how much Asunaro likes the characters anyway. They're just like a random arbitrary thing that Zephyr has put on the game. Just get rid of them and just say like, you have to make Asunaro happy. If he ever's like, if he ever like doesn't like you enough that he wants you to go away, then you go to hell. And if he ever selects somebody, then everyone else goes to hell. And that's enough reason for everybody to like want to be on Asunaro's radar all the time and like and you know follow the rules of the game. It produces enough like drama for that to be the whole series.
I feel like there still needs to be a reward for following through, because if that is the case, then they could just like stay like on like neutral friendly terms with him forever.
Yeah, maybe a ranking system where like if you're at the bottom spot 2 times in a row, you die.
Yeah, like maybe he has to like rank them from 1 to 10. And he doesn't know why, but he has to rank them in order or something. And
yeah, like Zephyr is constantly gauging like his interest in them. And like then maybe I feel like there needs to be a motivator for them to want to try to win. Like maybe instead of like one person gets all these rewards and the rest get like a terrible penalty system, you could like have like the winner gets like a really good reward. Possibly even something that helps them with like their personal situations, like get like Asunaro's like weird luck out of it, and like let it be a Zephyr thing where it's like, if you win this, I'll like boon you a favor, you know, like if you're like trying really hard, like, you know, like I'll make sure your manga hits like top charts, you know, like, or I'll give your family winning lotto ticket or whatever, and then the person in very last place might get like a punishment that is like a big detriment to them, like one of your
drawing
siblings
a
dies.
Bad fortune. Oh Jesus Christ.
Like, yeah, so that it's like a fight of like, oh shit, like I can't be in last, but also like, you know, like we're all trying to like live together.
That way people could actually lose, and there'd be more room for failures in Serika's plans. Because because like a misfortune could really be anything, and it could ramp up in severity. Like, you know, like your first like good fortune might be like, oh, you want a trip to a spa. That's nice, isn't it? And like later on get into like, I'm fixing your family's financial crisis. Whereas like reward bad fortunes could be like, someone you love got
failed.
sick.
Yes, or like you failed your tests or whatever, like, you know, like suddenly you're failing classes, or like something happens and like your reputation plummets at school, and like a late game failure would be like one of your family members dies.
Like imagine if you called your editor, and the editor like picks up and it's like Zephyr's voice, and she's like, yeah, if you want your manga to continue, you have to like win this week's challenge.
Yeah, or else you're getting canceled.
Right? Danganronpa motives.
Like,
exactly.
Do like have it play around, because I feel like the main concern being all of them dying makes all their motivations fall a bit more flat. Because this would also allow us to explore the girls' personal motivations and why they want to live a lot more, and also just get into like the psychological aspects of the game and like how it's a torture for them. And I feel like, you know, trauma bonding together, or like, you know, like the winner trying to share the rewards and all of them like trying to like figure out a way to get out of this would have like more emphasis to it. Like I would care more, because I would actually be seeing them struggle in real time, instead of just constantly being like, oh no, I'm down to 1 heart, if I lose I'll go to hell, girls, help me out.
Especially because like, not even just because, well, I feel like it's obvious, but I was technically spoiled on this by like the commenter who recommended, like, it's obvious they're all gonna live. Like, I never, at no point did I ever think any of the 5 girls was in serious danger.
I think there should have been a girl who died.
Yes, honestly, if this went on for longer, there'd be like 10 girls, and then like 4 of them die, and then 6 of them have to work
like
together.
Really tragic, and then it's like a trauma bonding of like, okay, we've like bonded through this game, and we've been trying. We can't let another one of us die. We're doing it for our fallen comrades, you know. And like have
Yeah.
like Asunaro slowly get like more sus of the game over time
Yeah.
and be like, where did this girl go?
I would love for there to be
Yeah.
a. Imagine if there was
girl?
a plot element where like two of the characters were like facing simultaneous like win this game or die, and it was like, oh shit, one of us is definitely gonna die, and you had a moment where one of them like sacrificed themselves to save, like that's cool, that's drama. Or if one of them was like, I can't take this anymore, I'm going to like, and they go up and they just tell Asunaro, oh by the way, like everybody's here against their will, boom, and then they're dead. And then it's drama, it changes the rest of the series. Like stuff like this could have happened if there were any stakes whatsoever. I always like kind of hated how like they have this like two heart system, and like there's you see all these girls on like one heart, like they're at like one betrayal, one bad like roll of the dice away from dying, and they're like studying for their exams, like they're cooking, they're like, I don't know, like and it doesn't, I don't think it like quite covers how like they all have to do a bunch of stuff, like they have to do a bunch of slave labor because they have to like cook lunches for this guy all the time. They have to like walk him home, and like you know, like they're losing time out of their day when they're already
It's
like
exhausting.
incredibly busy. Like some of them are like one, like the manga artist girl is like the breadwinner for her family just about, and she's also now got to do all this like busy work. Like I don't, like none of this really felt like it was
Affecting their lives.
like ever affecting their life. Yeah, exactly. Like,
Yeah.
why would you study for exams at any point in this? Like, I would immediately stop bothering about. I wouldn't even go to class anymore, except like to try and raise my hearts with this guy, I guess.
I mean,
Yeah.
like, I understand it from a motivation of, okay, if I win this game and I live, or like I live after this, I can't have like ruined my like grades and like ruined my life, you know, like I can't have like
right.
be falling behind in classes, because if I do make it out of this alive, then like I'm fucked, basically.
Yeah, but then the
Yeah.
fortune thing comes in, like, you know, you're pretty much guaranteed success. Well, whatever. I think
Well,
the
true.
closest
Not-
we got to feeling
yeah.
like they had stakes in their lives was probably, I'm realizing now it's probably Riru, the manga artist, where I really felt like her struggle was embodied, because she's just constantly stressed about having her manga succeed. They tried
Yeah.
Yeah.
they tried with Heather when they had the arc on not Rokenjima. Like she was complaining all the time that she was losing time to be like practicing, but like you can run anywhere. No, you aren't gonna be stopped.
Yeah, like she was running around the island anyway.
Yeah, I never bought that her complaining about how this like was a huge bother, because like it's existential that like they're about to die, or that they're in danger of going to hell and having a fate worse than death, and it's horrifying that they have to devote their lives to this dude that they like don't really know. Shouldn't that be enough? But also like they could have done a lot better with making us feel like this had an impact. I'm really, the more I think about it, the more I like Lurf's idea about good fortunes and bad fortunes like tipping based on whether you win or lose, because then there could still be a threat of death, because maybe something bad happens so badly that you will die.
I mean, I do like the also general idea of like, you know, raising the stakes up until you will die if you fail this challenge, like, you know, like just like getting to the end of the game, things are really ramping up, or even just like, you know, like accidents, like, you know, like, oh, something bad will happen to you and you like get into a fatal accident, maybe like, oh, you break your leg, you won't be able to run anymore, you know, like
This series
Stuff
needed
like
a
that.
permanent injury.
it did.
Yeah.
Put Heather in a wheelchair. Hashtag put Heather in a wheelchair.
Yeah. Oh, like, I mean, because they get to the end of the, like, and Zephyr's just like, yeah, I'm bored, like, yeah, let's just end this, like, whoever gets him pregnant wins, everyone else dies, and if no one gets him pregnant, you all die. And,
Did you
I'm
say
sitting
get
there going,
him
like,
pregnant or get him pregnant?
oh, probably.
Okay. I just want to let that be
What?
heard.
Yeah, all the girls
Yeah.
need to get Asunaro pregnant
Fair
right
enough.
now.
I would read that.
Yeah, get him pregnant. That would...
Amen.
Honestly, Ryukishi takes some notes.
Yeah.
But like they get to the end bit, and I'm like, what did you expect? Like, and like, why have you been like? It kind of feels like they were sitting around, like, and like Serica was like, like showing off how smart she was because she was like moving some numbers around and making sure like the game stalemated, like each time. It's like, I mean, eventually it's just you gotta end it. Are you gonna live like this forever? Like,
Yeah,
and they all just seem shocked. None of them have spent any time thinking about like end game. They kind of improvised the last bit, which like is actually, I mean, I guess like the bit at the end is kind of cute, like how they get Asunaro to acknowledge Zephyr as a love interest, and then that makes her able to die. But you could have like this could have been something you thought about when you had all this like potentially free time.
I mean, I guess they didn't really think, like, they were never like, why would... I don't think... I think if I were in that situation, I probably wouldn't think of that, because it's like, she's the game master. Why would Asunaro even consider her a love interest? And how would I even convince him of that? Because also...
It does work on fairy tale logic, yeah.
Yeah, also, they're not supposed to really reveal any details about the game, and Asunaro didn't know that they knew about Zephyr until the very end. So, like, they couldn't just be like, oh, so, Zephyr? Like, they can't talk about, like, the fact that they know anything about any of this, right?
That's true.
So, that's probably why they couldn't initially try to be like, oh, well, what if we convince him Zephyr is a love interest? And it's like, well, I don't know his relationship with Zephyr, and if we tell him, Zephyr might get mad because, like, we're not supposed to let him know that we know Zephyr exists.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like the idea of them. I liked the idea of them tricking Zephyr and like her becoming a love interest, and then that's what makes her lose.
I think that's fun.
The finale a little bit lost me up until that point. I especially didn't like when every girl was willing to sacrifice themselves for Serica to be the sole victor. It kind of felt like it put all of their stakes and everything they cared about in the trash.
Yeah.
Like Ren has absolutely nothing in her background, and she's obviously in love with Serica, so I could buy her.
I buy her doing it.
The other three totally have lives that they want to keep going.
And like, the thing about that scene is it's such, like, tonal whiplash, because I have no idea how they came to this conclusion, because, like, literally a chapter before, all of them went home that night, like, no, I don't want to die, I have to do this for my family, I have to do this for my sister, I have to, like, so, like, they're all doing this, like, the only person who's not like, I don't want to die, is Ren, because she's really gay for Serica, she wants Serica to win.
She's really bi for Serica.
You know what, you're right, she's very bi for Serica.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I feel like now might be a good time to talk about the more lolicon aspects of the story.
Yeah.
I guess we should bring that up.
So, I mean, like we mentioned earlier, Riru, one of the love interests, quote unquote, is significantly younger. Well, I say significantly younger. I think it's only like 3 years, 2 years, but they're all children. So
yeah, well, it's one of those interesting things that like. This is where I struggle to put my thoughts in the correct order. But like, I feel like there's like a barrier people put in their brains between like school kids like ecchi kind of like fan service stuff and like when it's a younger student. But like there always seems to be this like unspoken, like they are still children, they are still at school.
I feel like for me, okay, so like if I was closer to the age of say Mion and Rena when I first read Higurashi, like in my mind those characters would have aged up with me, and like maybe I could be attracted to them, but like I would never feel that way about Satoko and Rika. And like that's the way it is for Danganronpa. Like technically they're like 16, 17, 18. They wait, no, that's a spoiler.
Yeah, shit. Blurb it out.
Nipa it out.
Nipa it out.
So like they're coming into like they're about 16. But I was about 16. Actually, no, I was like 14 when I read Danganronpa, when I played Danganronpa. So like those characters will always be just slightly older than me in my mind. And like that's not how it is for like not only this character in the text that's a child who looks like a child, acts like a child, talks like a child,
Yeah.
And then you're supposed to take seriously as a love interest alongside these other girls who are obviously the same age as Asunaro. But also then occasionally you'll get like cameos from the Higurashi cast. And I am just disgusted by like Sadako, Rika, and Maria's presence in this work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I
remember that.
like really the only thing that like could have like made this like aspect of the story like even mildly like worth being there and intriguing is if, you know, it was a commentary on lolicon stuff. Like I want to know like what her thoughts are on like I'm stuck in this harem with a guy who is like older than me, you know. Like it would be like gross and horrific, and I think it would be like more just something of substance if like it was addressed at all, because then it can be, you know, a commentary on that trope in like harem series, like, you know, like the loli, like, is this ethical? No, no, it's not. Like, maybe he should feel bad for including this girl in his harem fantasy, I think.
Yes. Now, it would be a funny time to mention the extreme variety in the translations between when Lerf, Mushroom, and I all got to the same point, and we individually, I took my screenshot before either of you posted anything. Individually, we took a screenshot of the page where Riru gets introduced. And Lerf says, we could probably put it on screen. It's very funny.
Yeah.
Lerf said, when like Asunaro is inner monologuing about Riru, says, "I've decided that I'm not a pedo, but a loli is an essential in any harem." And then like a little bit later, Mushroom posts the same panel and it says, "I'm not a pedo, but I still like Lolita." And then I post mine and it says, "Listen, I'm not like a kitty diddler or anything, but she's got a really adorable look to her."
That was such a weird experience.
So like clearly there's some delusional stuff going on where like it's perceived
Asunaro delusional? No way.
No way.
It's not like that's his only character trait.
Yeah, but like especially the first two make it sound like a lolicon is just absolutely necessary in a work like this, and it's just not. It's
not. However, it's common.
It's a trope.
Like, yeah, it's a trope, and therefore, like, if you are doing a parody of harem, like, you know, manga series, and even if you are like maybe doing a critique on it, which I feel like it would be really interesting to see. Like, obviously, this isn't a critique of it, but it would be really cool if it was a critique of it. I feel like you could critique the trope, and that could be like interesting. And that is the only time I would think that it's justified to have it exist, is like commentary on the trope itself.
Yeah.
But like, it's not at all.
Yeah. I think it's probably worth saying, like, the series wants you to think that it's a subversion or a deconstruction or a parody or a what have you. It's really not. This is just a played straight.
If by the end, if they didn't get like, you know, like started actually courting Asunaro out of genuine interest, well, not genuine interest, they just want his luck, but like if they didn't start like genuinely trying to flirt with him for whatever reason, I feel like then it would have been a subversion, but it isn't. It's played straight in the end, and I think that's really like the biggest detriment to it. Is that at the end, all the girls are like, actually, I will have lunch with Asunaro and flirt with him. Even though,
what would have made it an actual subversion if just one of the girls actually continued to have feelings for him, and then they settled on a pairing, a canonical pairing.
Possibly.
Yeah, like you know, Ren could have been that, because that was already set up beforehand.
No, because Ren has to be with Serika.
Listen, I understand. I want it too, but she's the only one who was set up to like actually be like, yeah, if we weren't doing this harem game, I would try flirting with him. I would court him.
It would probably be Serika based on the fact that she's the main character.
I think it's better if it isn't her. I want her to be an independent woman.
I don't think Serika, like, I just don't think it was plausible, like, she had any attraction to him until that point. Like, she always showed the least interest in all of these games. She was like, oh, like, gotta do this thing again.
And even then, at the end, of course, her motivation is, well, I could get some of that good luck of his, that good fortune.
Yeah.
Like, they don't even want him for him.
Yeah.
They're all greedy.
Which, fair enough. I don't want
This,
him for
this
him.
is what Nagito's dating life must be
True,
like.
but the thing is with Nagito, if you date him, then you might get, like, crushed by a plane.
It might.
No, you will.
Yeah. So yeah, it's interesting. Like, okay, so like we were recommended this, and the idea is like this is Ryukishi Unleashed, where like there's clearly this is just a thing for him, and he separates the idea of these fantasies from any actual, like, as long as it's not hurting anyone, like we said.
Mm-hmm.
But it still feels like,
I think because it was so short. Yeah, I'll go ahead.
Yeah.
I think I was just kind of trailing off. I don't know what I was gonna say.
I think because it was so short, I don't mind that I had spent the time to read it, because like the way I justify it, I guess, is that I got to peek inside Ryukishi's head a bit more, and like it helps with like contextualizing the stuff that happens in Umineko and Higurashi, that the bits that I like the least. I don't think I would ever recommend this to anyone ever. If you're listening, I don't recommend you listen to you read this. It's really got very little value, I think.
It's not even good as porn.
No, like
No.
there's really not much. There might be like a nice drawn boob every now and then, but like really it's just kind of it's mediocre at best.
You can do better.
Yeah, you can do better. You could find something spicier, like.
But if you do want to, I think you would get some value out of it. If you just like wanted a short read, if you're crazy about Ryukishi, or if you're crazy about the idea of Haram being taken into a death game territory, you could get some enjoyment out of it. I didn't hate it whatsoever, like, overall.
Yeah, I kind of got the same, but I was actually expecting to really hate it, especially like with the way it started out. But like, it's fine. Like, I wouldn't call it good. I wouldn't call it bad. It's just like kind of middle of the road, where it's like it had some potential, and the reason it had potential is the reason I like it, and I kind of wish that it, like, you know, actually like fulfilled that potential. Like, you know, we're talking about like a lot of hypothetical scenarios right now, and it maybe makes it sound like a little more interesting than it actually is.
It's true.
But like, I don't know, maybe if you do read it, write a Haram Royale fanfic and make it good.
Yes.
Like, honestly, in talking about like my hypotheticals for the series, my brain is like, I could do this better. Like, what if I
feel the exact same, because like this is like this plot is so like it's a parody of a plot that's so like it's so thoroughly explored in other media. But it's blending two genres in a way that really tickles my brain and feels like, oh man, I could totally write this better.
Yeah.
But then again, I don't have a deadline, and I don't have a page limit.
Yeah. 17 chapters would be challenging.
Like, honestly, like, I think props to Rikishi for squeezing in as much backstory about these girls as he possibly could.
Yeah, they felt like characters, which is more than I expected.
Yeah, like, I know all of their motivations. I know, like, at least, like, two...
I don't know Ren's motivation.
His motivation? Ren?
No. I was going to say, some more than others.
Ren is, gaslight gatekeeper girl boss motivation. Her motivation at first is get lucky with Arsenault and get some of that good luck, and then her later motivation is I don't want my girlfriend to die.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think to me, you said potential. To me, the potential is like, I really love when people fix cable, or I love the idea of fixing things. And you watched a porno where like the guy's like, oh, I'm here to fix your cable, and then like just immediately went downhill from there. And it's like, that's not potential. Like, you could watch an actual tutorial on YouTube on how to fix.
No, I think that's an unfair comparison. Like, see,
a
guy coming over to fix your cable is like 90% porn, 10% plot, and this is like you know, like I'd say like 60% plot, 40% like ecchi. Like
I'd say
there is a story
hot,
here.
and then just for no reason, there's just fan service thrown in when it could have stood on its own without having to rely on being like something that's. It feels like it's obviously made to. It's like for the male gaze when it could just stand on its own as a parody of these tropes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it could stand on its own though.
I'd say it could stand on its own as a 6 out of 10 work.
Maybe.
Maybe.
In 17 chapters, there was no way it could stand.
Well,
on its
no, not in 17
I think
chapters.
to stand on its own, it would have to not be a ecchi harem manga. Like it would have to be something else. It would have to pretend to be it, but like spend all the time it has available doing something other than that.
That's what I'm saying about potential, because like the concept of these girls are forced into a harem because like they're in like a serious death game and none of them want to be there is interesting. Like you talking about the cable man, like that's just an excuse for porn to happen. Like this guy walks in and porn just happens. They just like said one line to give context for the porn. This is not like 100% like porn. Like we're not having sex on screen. There's fan service. There might be a bit of nudity, but like I don't know. There's not really anyone like fucking like groping boobs or making out or like like I said, having sex. Like there is a story here. This is ecchi with plot, and the plot could have been interesting if it had more time to breathe.
Yeah. The plot still feels like an excuse to me. I'll point to two things. The first one is the way it ramps up so quickly. Like there isn't room for a plot to develop here. The very first thing they all have to do is like they basically jump on him one by one and like grab his hand and like shove it on their breasts, and then the main character has to like sit on his crotch or something. I can't remember the details. That was the first chapter, and I read it a week or two ago. That's pretty far advanced for like if you wanted to like slow cook the horror, you know? Like it should probably have started with like have a conversation with him, and you don't really like him, so you're like, oh hey, you're pretty cool. What do you like doing? Oh, you love harem manga. Great. Yeah, that's pretending to be interested in it. You know, that could have been some drama. Like,
oh, you don't know how to talk to people.
Yeah, like that's what I mean by like, if it was longer, it did have potential to be interesting, but because it was such like a short series, they had to like ramp it up immediately and just like get right into the fan service, and like also like, you know, like unfortunately fan service sells, and so like people bought it expecting a harem, so they probably had to deliver on that. But I'm just saying, like, as a concept, not how it was presented here, but just as a concept, it has potential.
Yeah, I think that is why I use the porno metaphor. It's like you're Ryukishi 07, Dragon Knight 07, and you have been commissioned to write a porno, and like it has to be a porno. It can't be anything else. The people who buy this are looking for a porno, and they don't want necessarily your like, you know, musings about the implications and the themes of a porno, but you want to put them in anyway because you are a writer with some integrity.
Yeah,
you're still not gonna probably get there. You're not gonna get there because the format itself is not meant to carry any themes, and I think that's just. I mean,
yeah.
I guess I will stop short of saying that like you can't have a harem manga with plot. I'm sure you can. I don't know if I've ever read any other harem mangas, so I'm probably not qualified to say.
Challenge accepted.
You can. I've just never seen a good one. I'm a firm believer of any concept can be done good if in the right hands and with like the right like without like being restricted by like, oh, you have like this much time and like this many like words and you can't go above that, or like a company like breathing over your shoulder, you know, like if you are just on your own and you have a concept and like even if it sounds like the most stupid fucking thing ever, it can be done well. I have seen some things with like the dumbest concept in the world that I'm like, there's no way that this could be interesting. Like I mentioned in the Anime Expo one, I saw like the first episode of Sanda, which is like about this like a boy who can like transform into Santa Claus, like a super buff Santa Claus, and like this girl who's like interested in using his power, and I'm like, that sounds so fucking stupid. And I sat there, I watched the first episode, I was like, you know what, they might be cooking. This is I'm like kind of interested now.
Yeah.
They might be baking cookies for Santa.
Yeah, it was funny, but you know, anything can be done well. You just have to have the sauce and the passion to do it well,
and the resources and the time.
And the resources and time. Yeah, like
And
that's just a given.
And the talent. Yeah. And the vision and the
Yeah.
If you are an excellent writer and you have all the time you can and no restrictions, you can make anything good.
It's sounding more and more like you can't make anything good.
No, you can. Like, there's such a thing as like indie projects. Like, people can do things in their free time.
I think what we're driving at is that this failed to meet expectations upon hearing the premise, and that doesn't mean that it was a futile endeavor to write this.
Yeah.
I think if nothing else, like it was written for us to read it so that we can have a bit more insight into like what Ryukishi thinks.
Yeah.
The meaning of you know, the lolicon content is, I guess.
Yeah.
that one panel still kills me.
I don't know. Maybe it's because I read the first couple chapters a while ago, but like I didn't think it was like the most aggressive. Like, I think the lolicon in Higurashi is worse.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, it probably is. Yeah, you're probably right.
But also,
it's not that bad.
There's more of Higurashi.
That is true. That is true. But like,
true.
Yeah, it's just like it could have been far worse, and maybe it would have been worse if the manga had more time and you know, whatnot. But like, as far as it goes, and like, don't get me wrong, it's still bad.
Yeah.
Like, just like by it existing, but it is not the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
I'd say the only thing that made me abhorred reading this, well, first I was pretty shocked when like they were talking about like schoolgirl uniforms in the summer, and then they showed Mion and Rena, and then slightly less explicitly Satoko and Rika. But then the only thing that really abhorred me reading the entire thing was when they were talking about swimsuits, and then you see Jessica, and she's like 18, you know, whatever, she looks sexy, it's fine, whatever. And then just right next to her is Maria in a swimsuit, and I was like, okay, Ryukishi, stop.
Yeah, that is egregious.
I did not like that at all.
Didn't appreciate it. No,
it didn't. The work didn't need that.
It really didn't. No.
Right. Does that about wrap up our thoughts on Harem Royale?
Yeah,
there's probably some things we should quickly touch on.
What
as we mentioned, there is a Rokenjima XP in this manga. It doesn't like, they just go to an island and there's a mansion on it, and it's called Roken Saijima. There's not really much, like there's a lot of surface level stuff, like Zephyrfur is Zephyr and Furfur. There's
Sarika is Rika.
Sarika,
yeah, Sarika.
And Asuno's parents go to Puyo Pico Republic for a holiday, and that's why he's on his own.
When I fucking got Sarika's name, and then like the next fucking thing was like her like dressed like semi Burn Castell-esque with like cats around her, I was like, God damn it, Rikishi, got another one. Another Rika XP? When will it end? There's so many of her.
So technically, this is canon to the greater When They Cry universe.
I mean, everywhere Rika goes, I suppose. I mean, like, it is what is it? A Koroni.
Is Han Solo Indiana Jones?
No, I was gonna say, like, it is a Koroni work, because the actual title is Renai Haram game Shuroyo no Oshiasi ga Kuru Koroni, which is Haram Royale when the game ends. So it's a winda.
Yeah, a winda.
Similar to When the Fireflies Glow.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess the only other thing I thought that we could, like, we've kind of talked about it in other sections, I suppose, but I guess the God, I forgot their name, but Serica and Ren, like, definitely got a thing for each other.
Definitely. Oh yeah, like it was very fruity. I was so excited when like I saw them being fruity. It was excellent.
From the beginning, there's just their I'm smarter than you rivalry.
The sexual tension was there.
The Death Note vibes of like trying to outsmart one another.
And
then it becomes a rivalry that is more important than the actual love interest they're supposed to be pursuing.
Yeah, Death Note's a good example because I hate Death Note with a flaming passion.
Really?
So
damn.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess that matches my apathy with the series. I like I probably would rate Haram Royale at 1 point above Death Note on the horse fry scale.
That is so funny.
Wow.
So it's got that going for it.
Wow. Now I want to delve deeper into that, but I don't think we can.
That's not for this episode.
I don't know if we have time.
Yeah.
We might have to talk about it another time.
Is that everything we wanted to
I don't know.
go
Anything
over?
else that you guys?
Yeah.
I think I'm out.
I think that's about it.
I can't think of anything else I want to address. I feel like I went over all my thoughts. All right. So yeah, Horsefire, you wanna?
Yeah. I hope you all enjoyed listening. I don't know how many people will be in the exact Venn diagram of people who actually want to listen to this episode all the way through. But if you made it all the way through, we appreciate you. Thank you for listening to us. I've been Horsefry.
I've been Pokey.
And I'm Lurf.
We'll see you when something else cries. See you cats
see
do
you then.
crimes.
Yeah, that's right. Catch
Bye.
you later.
Bye.
Bye.